Oh, good morning, everybody. We're here.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome back.
Second take. This is our second take. Mr. Happy, I was not happy about getting all this equipment set up. As you can see, we moved podcast area. This is the third time now. You only seen the upstairs dungeon wall, but we moved everything, and then I had to move everything back up here, which I wasn't too upset. I just didn't want to get involved at all with audio, video, or anything.
We do have a new location. This is just a location that we're going to film today.
Well, this will be ongoing.
Will be in our new
So
location.
Mr. Happy woke up this morning not so happy, and that put Brooke in a bad mood, and then we're not happy campers here. So we're not always happy campers at Coalcracker. It's like a real rainy day when you were waiting for the sun to shine at camp, and it just didn't happen. So, but here we are.
Here we are,
But
after a while.
No, but here, let's start because this will break the ice a little bit. So we stopped doing the podcast there for a while. Everybody at classes, specifically Instructor Dave, very heartbroken that it stopped. No, he was heartbroken that it stopped.
Yes.
And I blame Brooke because, listen, the first two, she says no. The first 2 times, first 2 weeks, you got a facial or something? Remember your face was all red? And I said, you don't have to go on. I get it, right? Because I already had big zits and people make funny and stuff online. So I was like, you don't have to go on, right? Your face is all red. We'll just take this week off. The following week, you said your hair and makeup wasn't done.
Well,
and
I
you
don't
weren't
really
dressed
wear any
nice.
makeup, so. But my hair, because normally when I come to the warehouse, I don't get all fancy or do my hair in the morning. I just usually pull it up in a ponytail. But for podcasts, I leave it down.
Okay.
And I just didn't feel like
So
doing
that
my
was
hair.
week 2. And then week 3,
We've just been very busy.
we started doing other stuff. Then we took all the podcast stuff from upstairs in the loft, which is up here, and we were like, we're going to move it over to our house down in the basement, and I was going to put up these real cool steel walls and stuff. Well, that turned out to be a very slow process. And then...
What was the next one?
What?
And then
the
what?
next part?
Yeah.
The next part was that we decided on a spur of the moment that we are going to entirely clean, reorganize, and re-inventory and basically overall the entire warehouse to the point the loft totally got everything that was up there got removed. We put Brooke's office up there.
It definitely needed it.
That was a 3-week.
This
3
place
weeks.
needed to get organized, cleaned, and now we
Can I tell? But everybody will get it. I wish we would have took a picture. Do we have a picture of what the shipping area looked like? Susie's going to kill us.
No.
So my mom, right, was off for about a week. So Brooke and I are walking around. So she does the shipping. So if you get a letter and it says thanks, Susan, that's my mom, right? And she did the shipping from when I got the warehouse. So the shipping area, was wild, like a rat's nest. Now, not just because of my mom. Our son loves to do hands-on projects. And a typical grandmother, oh, it's beautiful. Let's set it over here, and then we can always look at it. Well, the projects, they
just kept building up.
It was demented. It almost he had flags he sewn,
cardboard,
cardboard,
with spray paint that looked like pictures that he created. And then at one point they were taping cardboard to the shipping racks, and then he was hiding in them.
It was wild. So when she wasn't here and we had to do shipping the first day,
I can't function like that.
no. So we went, and I like organization. If you're ever at a class and see the pole barn, it has to be organized and well, it was not. So that started it. We said, we're going to clean this area, and it just led to everything. And there is a lot here. So then that's why my YouTube I haven't been posting, because I was like, that's a higher priority right now. So.
But we feel a lot better.
A lot better.
Because down the road, we're thinking about,
Totally refurbishing this place, which we had people come in. We would actually close for probably 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. You could still order online. But we would be closed, and they would come through and gut it right down. Not that there's a lot to gut, but all the electric would go, the loft, everything goes. And then they were going to redo the whole building. So that's what we're thinking right now. We've been working on it, and that's going to be a long process. So that's where we're at right now with that.
Yeah, but we're glad to be back.
Well, we weren't this morning. I was not. Had no parts of this.
I know.
But
He can really put people in a bad mood.
No.
God.
I could be in a bad mood, but then everybody around me all of a sudden is in a bad mood too.
Because, when you're around people and they're in a bad mood, it's like, how do you stay happy?
I stay happy all the time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what was going on. I'm trying to think if there was anything else really cool. We had classes. The kids' class was awesome. All the kids did really, really good. So that was real fun. Navigation is probably my most favorite class that we have, believe that or not. I love, and I told Mike, and I think Mike might be coming to the dark side. Not that Mike didn't like navigation, but it's so technical and it's so interesting to us at this point. For some reason, I love it. So every little aspect of that, me and Mike were like two kids in a candy store at the class, just super excited about about that. From when we got there, we had our maps out and our compasses and our UTM grids, and we're just going at it.
It's funny you say that because Jax was part of the class on day one.
Yes.
And then he had school. He started school this week, and
he had football the second day.
Yeah, but then he started school.
Okay, yes.
So in his social studies class, they're actually learning about maps. And he came home the one day and he had like a 3D printed object that he got. And I'm like, oh, what is that? How'd you get that? And he said, because I was raising my hand so much to answer the questions.
I didn't know
here
this story.
It happened to be all about maps. So he just took that class.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so his hand was up for almost
I
every
can just
question.
imagine.
Yeah.
So sixth grade map reading is a lot different than what we
he's
were
like, do
teaching.
you think I should ask my teacher if I can bring in a compass and explain it to the kids? Like
Is he going to do that?
How to shoot a bearing.
Is he doing that?
I said, just ask him.
I think that would be awesome. And he could take in real maps.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure the maps they were using were probably pretty crazy.
So
That's pretty good. So, but listen, that leads into another question I feel like I've been getting asked a lot by email and people at classes of what age kids can come to classes. So on our website, we have you have to be 16. Part of that is because when we first opened, we had parents, remember the time the parents dropped off the two, they were like 14-year-olds and the parents left? And I was like, well, we're not a daycare. So that was part of the issue. So if your child is like under 18 and wants to come to a class, or under 16 and wants to come to a class.
But have the skills and is independent.
Right, but the parent needs to still come
Yes,
along. Like, we're not
right.
a daycare, but they were like, just shoot us an email. And I would say 99% of the time we've been like, oh yeah, they can come along. You're going to be there. They're going to hang out. Most of the stuff we do is with partners anyway. They're your partner, and we're good to go.
Right.
So, all right. So there's that.
So we'll get into it. You want to start the questions?
Yeah, I feel like there was other stuff we had to talk about. But no? Nothing else big and pressing?
I don't
About
think so.
life or any outdoor stuff in general? No, I think we've been working on a lot of new products. We're hoping that a lot of stuff for Black Friday
Black
comes
Friday.
through. So we're working on that stuff. And I think there's something I was going to say about the products. The survival kits have been a huge hit. We are nonstop making those things, so they're flying out the door. Probably my favorite product right at the moment. I know my favorite product always changes, but that's it right at the time being. I love it, and I
Just
think everybody else
a
is.
lot of new products coming out, which
Yeah,
I'm excited
and
about.
the blankets. Everybody's asking about the Frontier blankets and the Frontier Heavy. All the wool is coming in, and then we actually construct them here. We don't make the wool, but we sew the blankets. So we're the one that finishes all the finishing work. So they will be.
That's probably the number one question we get in emails.
When are
People
they?
are really excited about them.
And they are huge, and they are heavy, and they are warm, and they are just awesome
And they
blankets.
will be available on Black Friday.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, because all that stuff's en route. So that's going to be really good. I feel like saying the other thing that we want to release on Black Friday, but I can't because it'll just cause
No,
an
let's
uproar.
not jinx it.
Okay.
But if you know, you know.
Yeah. If you put two and two together, what hasn't been in stock for a while, you'd be
I
excited.
just have to keep on Dan and
No, that's not always accurate.
make sure
There's-
he puts that at the forefront because a lot of things in a day happen and we think we're going to get things done and
Yeah,
we never finish.
correct on that. There is a lot.
Yes.
I feel, let's just talk about this for 2 seconds because I think people find this interesting. So Brooke always worked a 9-to-5 job. And then she left, as you all might know or might not know,
I think we talked about
last
that.
October.
I
You
think
left.
we talked about it.
So, you first start a new job, hence her starting. Now, she's always been involved with the business, but she's here all the time now. And I feel like we're really getting into the heart of like seeing how a small business, how bad, like I don't say bad, but how rough it can be. It's
Yeah,
rough. It's
it's
not what people think because it's just
I think
a
it's a lot
constant.
just because we're involved in everything within the business.
Well, that's a
Because
small
we're
business.
Small, and I know, and that's tough sometimes. I
Yeah.
think that's why many people don't make it.
Well, you just got, yeah. I mean, it's
I mean, you
wild.
just have to keep grinding through it. So
I'm going to play this clip when you're like going to stab me with a ripper, seam ripper in the
Yeah.
jugular. I'm going to play that clip for you. You guys
I
just keep
said 1
grinding through it.
minute we're talking like all these business deals and all this
I'm
stuff.
like, do this contract with this company. And then the next
And then
minute
the next
she's
minute
like,
I'm the janitor. I'm on the floor just vacuuming with the
Yeah.
shop vac. all
yeah.
dirty.
And then you throw my fits of rage in and I'm just like, well, welcome to my life for the last 8 years. And it's just mayhem. So
So you never know what you're going to do each day.
no, that is the truth. All right, let's get some questions and some answers.
Some of the questions are like business related, some personal questions.
Okay.
And then some outdoor questions. Just a mix of things.
Yeah.
All right.
Are they wondering if I was not married, if I'd be on Tinder and people would be swiping right?
No, actually, no one swiped right.
Isn't that how you pick somebody on
I
that app?
swipe right or left. I'm not sure which one is.
Well, if people
I'm
saw
not
my
sure.
profile, I'd have a good profile picture. They'd be like this, get me, they want to date me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into it. So the question number 1 is, what's one question that you get asked all the time?
What's
something that
one
people-
question that I get asked
Yeah.
all the time?
I actually know the answer to this.
I don't know that off the top of my head. I'd have to think about that. Why, what were you going to say?
I
know this is a question answer for me and I can't answer the question.
Yeah, but the first thing that comes to my mind is every time we go somewhere and people meet you for the first time, they're always ask you if you served in the military.
Oh, I just got that. I was at Boyer's, that's like the local supermarket, checking out, and the guy was like, I'm like totally oblivious, when you're just like in your own world. So I throw this stuff up, we were getting this stuff for quesadillas, and I'm standing there like in my own world, and the guy's like, Special Forces? And I'm like, what? He's like, served? I'm like, huh? He's like, you were military, right? And I was like, no. He's like, well, you look like it. Like, he got like upset about it and was like,
you get asked that a lot, and
all the time. It is crazy. Now that you say that,
Yes.
people ask that. I was not in the military, and that's one thing. I don't have too many things in my life that I'm like, because I did a lot in my life. I think about it all the time. That's one thing from when I was little until now. I'm like, I wish I would have done that. But there was a weird stage from when I got out of high school, because the plan was always for me to go to college in our house, which was fine. I don't ever regret that. But I went to college and totally...
You would have never met Augie.
Yeah, my
That's right.
roommate from college, wild. But my point is, when I got to college, like the military thing, like the enjoyment of it, like what I liked, like just the whole concept of it, just like left my mind. Up until I already was in the workforce working, and then I was like, fell back in love with that whole thing. So I don't know. It was weird that played out that way in my life. But that's one thing I wish I would have done.
Yeah,
but people
and then
do ask
remember,
that. Where were we?
We were just at football because our son started football and he has practices every night. And so we tried to make sure that we get our workouts in. So there's like a really big hill that's by his practice that we usually like run down and then back up and then we work out. And then that guy came over to you at football practice. I guess he was watching you work out.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
he
and
ask you?
Yeah, he's like, what? Like, because I wear a plate carrier. So that, I get it if I'm working out with like plates on, right? That they think that. But yeah, he goes on, he's like, well, look, are you in Special Forces and this and that? I'm like, no, I was not. I definitely not.
Yeah.
But people do ask that all the time. So I don't know.
Okay.
That is true.
Question 2. How do you like multi-use items like the mountain serape? Did you ever hear
I don't
the
even know what a mountain serape.
serape?
Are you sure you're pronouncing that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Can I see how it's spelled?
S-E-R-A-P-E. Serape. It's kind of like...
Did you look it up?
Yeah, I had to look that up
I
when
don't
somebody asked
have-
that question. It looks like almost like a poncho. Kind of like a poncho we make.
I don't know if it's a serape. I feel like,
It
well, let me
is
look
a
at.
serape.
Let me see how it's
Hold on.
spelled. So I don't know. As
Here we
far
go.
as multi-use equipment, I think that people.
Okay, here.
Okay.
Let's listen to this. You ready?
Yeah. Put it by the microphone so we can hear it.
Serapi.
Okay, I never heard of that a day in my life. But here's what I can say about multi-use equipment. I think that it's good if you can like have a piece of equipment and you can use it in multiple ways. But I think at the end of the day, people put so much like weight into that of like, well, if it doesn't have 7 uses, I'm not carrying it. I disagree with that. I'm like, if you need a shelter, like just if the shelter's small and compactable, say the T60, we'll use that. Like, use it just as a shelter. Yeah, you can definitely wrap. I mean, I wrapped up in that and slept already. You can throw it on, like, you can come up with all these other things you can do with it, but that's not why I'm carrying it. I'm carrying because it's a shelter. So I have never been like, oh, I can use this 77 different ways, and if I can't, I'm not carrying it. I carry, like, if I need rain gear, I'm going to carry whatever rain gear is personal, like, best for me. So I could say that.
I think it's just your
Yeah, it's just an opinion thing, like what you think, but that's my opinion.
like your
I don't.
preference.
Yeah, I don't have a preference.
is-
If it's not multiple use, it doesn't bother me because I'm probably taking it for another reason anyway.
This is what they were referring to.
Oh, so that looks like a, who makes that? Hill People Gear.
Yeah.
So that looks like a whoopee and a poncho and a wool blanket thrown over your shoulders. All so I mean, yeah, cool concept. But again, I don't put a lot of weight into. Does it need to do 7 things? I don't. I just never was like that.
Okay. What's one lesson you learned from running Coalcracker that you wish you knew when you started?
I think that the number one thing is that you have to. Stuff's not always going to be perfect. You have to make a decision. You got to move on it fast. Because if you wait and you think you're going to get things absolutely 100% perfect every single time, and you're constantly calculating and waiting for the right moment, you just never get it done. So you
need to take risk.
Yes, but you need to move fast on stuff. And I think that's sometimes for me and you. Yes, because I'm like, okay, let's get this go and move with it. And you're like, well, we got to get this one thread has to be a little, and I'm like, we got to go, like, you got to move it forward. Otherwise, I would still be never doing anything because I think of some of the stuff I sewn originally was not good. But
You've come a long way with the sewing.
So I mean, you have a skill set, you try your very best, you make it happen, and then you just constantly improve on stuff. So that's where I think it's a speed. You got to make a decision, you got to move hard on it, and you got to move fast. And I didn't always do that. I would like, even till today, there's stuff that I'm like, I want to do, and I start working on it, and it's very hard, and it's not like, and then I put it off to the side because I'm like, well, when I get this other machine, it'll be like, no, you got to just do it and go. And that's really where the most growth, comes from.
What's the biggest misconception people have about survival or bushcraft?
The biggest misconception. First of all, I think, well, I don't want to say first of all. The biggest misconception is that survival, like the reality of survival, if you get yourself in a bad situation in reality versus you get yourself in like a TV show All right, so as you saw, we just cut the film. And the reason why is because our warehouse is in Frackville and there is residential homes around our house. All the people do here is cut their grass and weed whack. It is nonstop every day. There can't be that much grass to cut around this place.
I never noticed that.
All day, there's a weed whacker, grass cutter, or leaf blower. It does not stop. I don't know if one neighbor does it and then the next neighbor thinks like, hey, Johnny cut his grass, I better cut mine to keep up with them, and then it just goes down the block. But all I hear as I'm talking here is the weed whacker. So if you hear ring, 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 it's because that's what's happening outside here. You talk me want to get crazy.
This is why we should have filmed in our new location.
I know, but that wasn't set up either. We don't have anywhere to mount this yet. We do have the old couch. That's what I'm going to film on. We have this old couch from our old house, and it's awesome. It's super comfortable. That's what we're going to film on initially, I think. So, okay, anyway, back to survival reality. I think that people think that a survival situation is going to be like a TV show, meaning that you're stuck in the high mountains of Switzerland with only a pocket knife and a shipping box, and you have to make do. And that is just not, that is TV. And I was on Alone, I know, like, that is TV. They put you in these situations that is not, you're surviving in a sense, but like for Alone, for example, I would have never just, if people are like, well, what if that was real? I wouldn't have just sat next to a lake for 51 days. I would have got myself out of that situation. Like, I'm physically fit enough to hike over the mountain and get myself out and use land navigation and like deal with the scenario and the situation. So I think in a real scenario, like when you hear about people who are truly lost in the woods, and this varies depending where you're looking at, but I'm going to say Pennsylvania, right? They get lost towards the evening into the night. They have to spend a night overnight, and then they're usually found within a day or so. So that's a totally different scenario than like a dual survival or Alone or Naked and Afraid. And people just, they think that's reality when it's not. It's not at all. So.
How has your approach to the outdoors changed over the years, then versus now?
So when I first started, I don't want to use the word hardcore, but I always felt as if everything was what I just said. It was like I would go into a patch of woods, and in my mind, it was like I'm in like the deep backwoods of Alaska with nothing for 100,000 miles around me. And it was like, that was my mindset. And then I started to realize that that's not reality, and I needed to start to gear my equipment and the skill sets around what people are actually going to be doing when they go out there and the situations they're actually going to be in. So that's where you see my approach a lot. I really never preach like, no, a friction fire because it's going to save your life. Like, carry a lighter, carry some matches, carry some of this equipment you need. That's all realistic. You can carry them, couple things every time you go into the outdoors and be fine. So I think I just came down to earth a lot more from this like make-believe world. And there's nothing wrong. Go out and pretend that you're way out there and you only have a knife and practice. That's a good training modality. But as far as everything else, I think you just have to bring it back to reality a little bit and go that route.
If Coalcracker had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's tough. Right off the top of my head, a theme song. Oh man, I don't know.
I think we stumped him.
No, I would say Keep Coming Back from Rob Bailey. I feel like it's hardcore enough, but it's like the mindset, like we just keep chugging along. Like we keep like, everything's thrown at us, we just keep doing it. And I think even at our classes, it's like we always push the thing of like, listen, you might not get it the first time, but you got to just work with it. And Mother Nature's not perfect, and just work with what you got. And like we're gonna come up with a solution. So you just keep coming back at it, and you'll get to where you got to go. So I would say that.
Okay.
Or Juvenile's Back That Ass Up. Has nothing to do with Coalcracker, but it popped into my head.
Our rap songs that we like.
Oh, well, I saw on Instagram the other day, it was like if somebody looked at my playlist, they wouldn't know if I'm like a gangster, like a Blood or a Crip, like going to kill myself because my dog died via country. If I'm like... They go through all the genres. That's like my playlist is like at one point I was listening to Madonna, and then I went to Back That Ass Up, and then the next one's like Zach Bryant, like it just like, oh my God, it's just wild.
Mine's just Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I can't. She put Taylor Swift here the other day. It was like, it sounds upbeat, and then I like to listen to words like if I'm doing stuff, and I'm like demented. She's a weirdo. She's very intelligent and she's super rich and talented, but it's a demented cult.
I guess. What inspired the design of the T60 shelter system, and how does it differ from traditional tarps?
Okay, good one. So we always use tarp shelters just because of the convenience and the multiple ways to set them up. So we would use the old grabber blankets or the tarps from Harbor Freight, which is still a great option to use that stuff. and then we would tie it up the way I think majority of people tie stuff up is with the main ridge line in the trucker's hitch and prussics, and we still do that because there's a time and a place for that. And then instructor Mike and myself would always talk about this, and we were like, he said, listen, let's just tie it up without that. So we started doing that for a while, and then it was like, okay, the next iteration is going to be, let's put it all into one. Like, why do we have this paracord like tied on because it's a mess? So can we just sew it in? And then it was like, well, how can we make this thing super packable? Because at the end, the last iteration, I'm going to say, of like this thought process was, the one thing none of us as instructors ever carried was a shelter system with us because they were too big and bulky. We just never carried them. It was like, and then the ones that were packable were nightmare. Like when people say that they're going to just use one of those Mylar blanket tubes, sleep in one of them for a night and see how that works, because you sweat, it's wet inside, it's miserable, it's just nightmare material. You can't put a fire out, like it's just not good. So we came up with we were like, we need something lightweight. We looked at the lightweight backpacking industry, we found a material we liked, and then we just built it from there. So that's where we're at. It's the goal at the end of the day is that you always have a sheltering system with you. And I think people overlook sometimes when they say like, we'll add all this stuff on. Yes, I agree and that is like in the works with us, right? To build these systems out. But at the end of the day, I think that one of the most important things you need, it's an emergency shelter. So it's gonna rain. It takes a minute to put this thing up. You tie it between two trees and stake it out with sticks in the back, and you're out of the rain. Like, that's the goal. Like, again, it's not back to the TV. We're not on a TV show that you need this elaborate thing to live in. Just set the shelter up, and you're good. You block the weather. That's all it needs to do. It's repackable and heavy duty, and we're good.
If you could take one famous person in the woods, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
A famous person. So, I mean, the first person, of course, that pops in my head is Horace Kephart, because he's like the king of the bushcraft stuff. Or Nesmith, even earlier than him. Apparently, Kephart was a drunkard. That's why he would go to the woods so much.
Okay.
Because he had a lot of marital issues, and he would go to the woods to drink. And then he would write while he was out there. So it ended up all working out in the end. I mean, I don't think he was famous when he was alive still. So that would be cool. But I think if I had to pick between those two guys, no, I totally changed my mind. I'm going to Dick Prenicke's cabin and living there for 2 weeks with them. But them other guys, they would be cool to just see that, the way they camped. But, I mean, to stay up there with Dick Prenicke for a while would be awesome, just to see what that's like. If I had to pick a season to stay up there with them, would be like the beginning of winter, where everything's starting to freeze up, but it's not like the dead of winter that you're almost trapped in the cabin. Did you know I was going to say that before I said it?
Yes,
and then I was
I'm just waiting. I'm like,
Yeah.
What's something outside of bushcraft that you're really passionate about?
Like fitness and working out. It's right up there, but I would say it's probably, I've been doing the same amount of time, and I love it, and I love all aspects of fitness, from like being able to run real far, to run real fast, to lift real heavy weights, to lift weights like multiple reps. I'm like I would say at this point I'm just like a CrossFitter, though. I mean, that's what I do, is I do CrossFit.
Okay.
I love it, and I know people go berserk and they're like, that's a cult, like Taylor Swift fans are a cult. But that is a solid, positive community, and if I had to tell people, I would say people our age, in their 30s and older, if you have to pick a fitness type regimen, that CrossFit is going to get you the most fit and keep you in best shape, and that's what you need to be doing.
If you haven't ever done it, I feel like it's really hard to appreciate and understand the level of fitness.
Yes.
That it entails.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like so CrossFit, basically, if you don't know, I'm going to go on a rant now because now this is my second passion of life, is there's like a workout of the day. So there's different and they're always different. You really don't ever, you do sometimes, but a workout might be, for example, you get a barbell. I'll use exercises people would know. It's like 10 deadlifts, and then you go on the rower and you row for 500 meters, and then you do 10 pull-ups, and you do that for 5 rounds. That would be 5 times you do all that. And you do it at the speed you can do it at, and you want to complete the whole workout, and you get like a time at the end. So there's these very functional lifts, meaning like a deadlift, really like a good exercise. And then you have to get on and you have to work your cardiovascular on this rowing machine, also like your muscular endurance. And then you got to jump up and do like this calisthenic that's hard as a pull-up. And then you got to keep doing that thing. So you're not only breathing heavy, but your muscles are fatigued, you're wore out, and it's like the level of fitness it gets you is just, it's unbelievable. When you do that for some time and go back to, and you know this, you go back to just I'm going to do 3 sets of 10 on the bench press. There's nothing wrong with that, but you don't feel like you even worked out. You're like,
right.
Are we going to work out today? And you did this bodybuilding style workout and you get not much out of it.
I mean, we were really years ago when we were doing it.
Doing
on
what?
A CrossFit, consistently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty consistent with it.
Not like we were. I feel well, then I'll speak for myself. I feel like years
I am
ago,
tip top. I can go in just about any CrossFit gym at this point and hang with the top people in every gym.
Yes,
That
you
was
can.
now she dug that in. I am not fit.
I know that's not what I was implying.
I don't have to go if I cannot. First of all, I'll admit this: I cannot go 5 or 6 days a week. I am
But
I
we
came to
did.
the realization,
there
yes,
were
but I'm
years
older.
ago- I'm just saying, years ago when
Yeah.
we would go every day and work out.
Yes,
That was the best shape I was ever in.
I agree.
And now I'm kind of more doing powerlifting because Jax is.
Yeah, our son loves powerlifting stuff, and
Yeah.
this is where I think people lose their mind because you say, "Well, CrossFit's," and they're like, "It is not." Right now for our son, him doing powerlifting stuff and
Yes.
getting super strong is what he needs to be doing, in my opinion. And then I think there's times we had, how many kids were coming to our house? 11 kids would come to our house almost every day, and we would do training outside with sleds and weights, and it was CrossFit style stuff. And they needed that because they were heading into football, so their conditioning was through the roof. So there's times to get strong and there's times for conditioning. I just think when you get our age, you don't need, my top end strength just holds where it's at. And I don't want to be a power lifter at this point, but I mean, I could pull a 600-pound deadlift on a good day now. On a bad day, 570. I'm a 350-pound bencher, so I can clean 350. I mean, my strength's up, so my conditioning, the better my conditioning, I have all this stuff going for me. And that stuff feeds over really well to survival and bushcraft and being outdoors.
Yeah, I agree.
See how that, you're
All
what's
right.
another passion? I can go on and on and have a fitness podcast.
Okay, last question.
Yep.
What's one piece of outdoor gear that you used to hate but now you swear by?
Water filters have become a really big one for me. The reason that I say that is I was always get your metal bottle, boil your water. And then what I realized was that these filtering systems are just quick, easy, and effective. And the summer months specifically, there's a great time and place for that. So I switched over, started using those because just the efficiency thing. And then over the last 2 years, this has been the biggest change. I started doing a lot more of the tactical training kind of stuff again in my life. So I was going down to Direct Action Resource Center, and they're big on water procurement and water disinfection and stuff like that. And in those the way their trainings are set up, it's I don't want to say doomsday, but it's there's
We
some
did
type.
talk about this
Yeah,
a
there's
little
a societal type collapse, something bad's going on, and you can't make a campfire and be boiling water when there's people in the area trying to come and steal what you have. You just can't do it because you're almost hiding from these people. So you have to have other methods. And I realized I got to be open to that stuff. So inline water filters for water disinfection, and then just personal I love the Grail for the push through filtering and stuff like that.
Okay,
That's all the questions.
that's all the questions. 10 questions today. I didn't want to overwhelm you on our first day back.
I like answering questions. I will say two things. Number one, Rich Fortney, we all know
Yes.
Rich, Beef Jerky Rich. That sign he made us. I feel bad
Yes.
it's still not hanging, but Rich, the sign, it's a big cutout Coalcracker sign. That's
Really
going to go
nice sign.
down in the new area. Hopefully the new area works out. If it doesn't,
You'll see us there next week.
yes. And if it, maybe down the road, we're actually going to have a little podcast studio if they redo this whole warehouse. We
Yes.
have that in the plans to do that. And then, so we have that. And then our good buddy Dan Bombard, I hope that one of his questions, because he asked a whole bunch, we're in there. Did you not answer any of his questions?
I didn't include any of his questions this week.
Dan, she's letting you down. See,
We will next
I would have
week,
never
Dan,
did
I
that, Dan.
promise.
Yeah. Okay. Just had to check. He's going to be heartbroken.
No, he'll forgive us.
Listen,
Next
I will
week,
say,
Dan.
I will say one of the things that I love so much is I think about like business development stuff. We have such a good community of people. So I don't think
Yes.
people we're a company, right? But people don't look at us like when you think of Yeti, you're like, oh, Yeti.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's this entity out there where people, well, when you think about Coalcracker, we're this community of bushcraft
Right.
and survival people, and all these people that come to courses and they come back to courses. We're friends with all these people. I text a lot of them.
Right.
I think that's pretty awesome. That's one of my recently newest favorite things that I came to that conclusion about, because I have so many friends
Right.
that I met through all these classes and come to things. And then
All
even
of your instructors.
yeah, all my instructors, and even Joe, who was just at the navigation class, he gave me the Dick Prenicky axe. He was like, yeah, I messaged Bombard. I'm like, come down to the class.
Yeah.
So you weren't at the class, Bombard. Joe was sad. He actually, a little tear down his eye. But yeah, I mean, all these people at classes talk to each other, so it's actually pretty cool overall.
Yeah,
But,
it's a great community.
yep. All right, that's all we got.
Okay,
That's
until
it.
next week. We will be here next week.
She's making promises
Dave, we
she
will
doesn't
be
know
here.
if she can keep. Oh, Dave and I next week, this is going to have to get filmed ahead of time, because Dave and I at this time next week, bang, bang, bang,
yeah, that's
with our
right.
buddy Nick, another student.
Okay.
He's actually going to be helping instruct when we go down south. So Nick and Dave and myself will be out near Pittsburgh
So we'll film-
shooting handguns, working on people who were shot.
Okay.
And then we do force on force, so we shoot each other with simunitions, wrestle. I believe we have to wrestle each other, so I can't wait to wrestle Dave. Dave, what are you going to do with all 240 pounds of just solid muscle coming at you? You better get his game on. Dave will be in. She'll be on my shoulder. Oh, this. Jess, oh, he hurt my elbow. Jess is his wife. Oh, my neck. All right, so that'll be it. So and we'll update you on how that training goes, not next time, but the time after.
Yes. So we'll see you next week.
All right, see ya.
Thanks for joining.
Till next video, stay in the woods.